Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I should say good morning as well, since we're here bright and early to hit this MLB DFS slate. For those jumping in, welcome. I'm excited to have any size group in here at all. I know it's against all odds doing a baseball slate on a Sunday morning when the NFL's going on. But I promise you this, those that are in here and joining for this time frame, it is going to be well worth it because there is no question about it. In MLB DFS, there is a ton of money to be made on NFL Sundays. I mean, it's that simple. I've got 6 or 7 years of proof that in the NFL DFS Sunday days, you can make a fortune in the other sports. I've done it in baseball. I've done it in basketball. So for those that are in here, it is well worth it. And I am not going to cut any slack on those that want to really do well in MLB DFS. So hopefully we'll get a few more people in here. We're also awarding anybody that's in the podcast today a free 1-week membership to Coach Talk. As you can see below me, there is the link there that you can copy and paste and jump in. You get 1 week free of DFS Coach Talk for MLB and everything we offer. So when you become part of what we're doing here at Coach Talk, you get everything that we've got. All right, quick hello to a couple of folks wandering in. Great to see Rodney Pollard. How are you, man? Thank you for being the first in here. Pain Blank SM. Feel the Pain has made it. Nathan Feudy, awesome to have you as well. Hopefully we have some more people drift in. I'm not going to mess around today. I'm going to go fast, but I'm going to hit all 15 games because it's a 12-game main slate on Draftkings and Fanduel and a 15-game main slate on Yahoo. The Yahoo slate starts at 12:10, DraftKings and Fanduel at 1:10. So I'm doing all the games, going through, do my pay up, everything that we normally do. I don't care the size of this group because I want to see a bunch of posted victories from this entire group because I think it's going to be awesome. And those that are missing out on it, just to watch the 9 millionth football podcast, big mistake, because I'm telling you, this is where you can make the money in baseball and in the NBA during NFL Sunday. Have you ever seen the fishing shows? I like to watch those once in a while, where they have a gigantic net out there and it's like between two boats and they pull the net up and it's so heavy when they pull all the fish up on the boat, it almost tips the boat over. Well, we're the boat and those fish are the NFL players. So we're going to make a lot of money in baseball today. TMT, what's happening? Deb Lutz, thanks for the support. I really do appreciate that. Tony A, all right. We are going to smash some baseball today. I love the slate. There are so many fantastic pitchers that it's like mind-bending. So my goal is to just fire through all 15 games, give you my input, give you the game set, get it all together for you. You can build lineups right when we're doing this. This way you can, when we're finished with the podcast, focus on your NFL lineups. So then you can get the best of both worlds here. So thank you again for everybody joining in. If you haven't already signed up for a free week of Coach Talk, then use that link right below me here. Copy and paste to get a free week of Coach Talk. Seager, $11 on Yahoo. He's already in my lineup, man. I love Yahoo. Hey, yesterday was a great day. Cash is for us all over the place. I'm so glad Deb's in here because she started my day off just like she said she would. Our MMA lineups all cashed. I was actually in the top 1.5%. I messed around with trying to take something down there in that MMA, all thanks to Deb and her awesome lineups. And then baseball was terrific. Really good profit on all the sites. Did great on DraftKings. Another couple takedowns on Yahoo. And you can get guys on Yahoo. Like, see, they're posting guys right now. Stanton's not one of my guys. I think right now he absolutely stinks. he's in such a funk, but he's $9. And, you got all kinds of guys like that. Seager at 11. You can even find middle of the order guys at $7. So if you haven't played Yahoo, you're missing some free money. I'm just saying. All right, let's get rolling on this sucker. And we are going to fire through all 15 games. We're going to start out with that 12-10 game for the Yahoo slate. It's Chicago White Sox, Detroit Tigers. It is an 8.5 total. A nice 78 degrees in Detroit today. Great weather everywhere, by the way. The weather, all games are good except the very last game on the slate, which is on the Yahoo slate. So if you're going to play Los Angeles Dodgers or San Francisco Giants, players beware for two reasons. One, the weather could be bad. It could rain, wind. It could be bad there. And secondly, you have nobody to pivot to. I am not going to play that game on my Yahoo all day. Cannot take that risk. I do not want to be right there cashing and then, I take a 0 on that last game. So for me, I'm basically going to be previewing 14 games because I'm not going to be rostering that contest. Now, if the day goes on and it clears up there and you want to swap some guys into it, that's fine. All right, back to Chicago and Detroit at the 12-10 time frame, 1 hour from now. Again, 78 wind blowing in from right, 10 miles an hour, 8.5 is the total, 4.70 for the White Sox, 3.80 for the Tigers. Vince Velasquez is going against Drew Hutchison. So very interesting game here. The lineups are already out. There are a few spots you can go. I'm not diving on this game by any stretch, but you've got some decently priced guys in the middle of the White Sox order. Moncada has been hot. Finally, after being bad all year. Abreu, Jimenez, Sheets, Vaughn, Pollock, that middle group, that's all confirmed lineup guys in the middle, have been solid. And then Elvis, since they picked him up, has been a godsend for the White Sox. So a lot of opportunities to grab a guy or two again on an all-day slate. You don't want to grab too many too soon because there are some people that don't know how to play the all-day slates. My percentage of winning on Yahoo all day is embarrassingly good. And I'm not bragging because I tell you when I suck. Believe me, 2 nights ago, I was whining because I finished like in the bottom 8%. I just collapsed. Horrible night. But on the all-day Yahoo, people panic. They don't follow it throughout the day. They want to watch football. They want to do this, do that. They don't want to change lineups. And you have to really follow it throughout the day, make some changes, pay up, pay down. That's how you win at it. I'm literally like at the 75% cashing level on the all day on Yahoo. So part of that strategy is don't overplay these early games because they'll see a number 3 by a guy batting third or a number 5 on a catcher. And they'll say, okay, I'm not going to have to worry about that. I'm putting him in. Big mistake. You play the lineup that's going to win. You never play a lineup because of when the game plays only, or because a team you like or dislike. Any of those stupid things aren't going to work for you. You got to stick to your game plan. Contest selection, number 1, bankroll management, number 2, and then taking the players that you think are in the best position to do the best while utilizing leverage and ownership to your advantage. That's the only criteria in building these single entry takedowns. All right. Detroit side, not interested really in anybody on that side. No trust of anybody. Kerry Carpenter, super cheap in the 5 hole if you're desperate. 110, this starts the main slate on, and this will be on all the games and all the slates. Texas Rangers, Tampa Bay Rays, played in Tampa in the Dome. 7's the total, 2.92 implied for the Rangers, 4.08 for the Rays. Glenn Otto, 6.7K against Jeffrey Springs, the lefty, 8.7K. Texas, Tampa, interesting game here. I like the Tampa Bay Rays as one of my 3 stacks that I'm going to utilize today. I think they're very sneaky. They're going against Glenn Otto, who has not been good, and the Rays are in a pennant race, and I think they bring it. I like the fact that I can use Aranda and in the 2 hole at 2K minimum. It gets me to the stack that I want. And it's cheap in a lot of sections. It's Diaz, Aranda, Margot, Ramirez, Peralta, Bethancourt, Siri, Choi, and Walls. So no Rosarena in that lineup. And so people are going to say, I'm passing on the Rays. And I think they have some great plays in there. I think you can go super cheap, 3 or 4 Rays, and I think they're going to score against Otto, and nobody's going to own them. So a fantastic place to go. Let's go to ownership real quick and look at stacks. And because we're going to be pressing for time, I'm just going to do a one-check stacks right now. So pay attention so that you know where the initial ownership is on stacks right now. Okay, here we go. The Cubs are the favorite stack ownership-wise at 18%, 7% chance of being a top 2% stack. Boston's second at 17%, 12% chance top stack. Miami, believe it or not, third at 14, 6% chance. The Kansas City Royals getting a lot of love at 11 with a 6% chance. Then it's Colorado at 6 with an 8% chance of a top 2 stack. So Colorado sneaky. Then it's Toronto, 5 and 5 there. The Yankees only 5 and then 7 to be best top stack. So not a lot of stacking of the Yankees against Jason Alexander, which is very surprising. Then you've got Minnesota at 4, Atlanta at 4, Tampa Bay. There's my Rays. They're going to be a sneaky stack for me. 3.4% chance of being of ownership share on the stack with a 4.3% chance of being a top stack. So I'm getting very contrarian with that play, but I do like the Rays today. Everybody else is below that. So if you want to stack teams like St. Louis, Houston, Cleveland, the Mets, Baltimore, all teams that people love to stack, they're virtually unowned. So we've got a slew of great pitchers up top and totally spread out stack play. So that's why I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on the stack side of things, because you don't really have to avoid anything. Everything is in play, and you know, you don't have to avoid chalk. There's no huge leverage with going with anything that you think may be bizarre, because everybody's going to be owning a lower owned stack at some point. What's up, Tony A and JT DePrince? Great to have you in here. Doug L. Doug L., I can't remember if we've seen you in here that much. You're sort of new, I think, but appreciate you. Joe K as well. Great to have you in here with us, guys. Remember, for anybody that joined late, if you want to check us out all the way inside and out for absolutely free, our Deb Lutz came up with the idea. I love it. You get one full free week of DFS Coach Talk just by using that link that's right below me here, live on YouTube and live on Twitter. If you copy and paste that, and you will jump in our Discord for 1 week free. And we would love to have you join the family. Okay, so Tampa, going to be sneaky for me. A one-off for the Rangers. I don't think it's the worst play in the world either. Next game, a very interesting one. Philadelphia Phillies and Atlanta Braves. This has been a hard-fought series, no doubt about it. You've got 82 degrees in Atlanta, no wind to speak of, 8 over under, 3 for the Phillies, 5 for the Braves. The lefty Bailey Falter goes against Spencer Strider, 10.4K, Falter 7.6K. What I'm doing today, and I've already pre-built my lineups because I know we're close on time and I'll do some tweaking, but I'm going up on 2 pitchers. It worked great for me last night. Both my pitchers crushed it, and that's what led us to victory. I'm doing the same thing tonight. It might not be the 2 that you're expecting, but one of them is Spencer Strider. I just think that he's a bargain. He's 10-4 on Draftkings, 10,000 flat on Fanduel, which is too low, and 52 on Yahoo. He's facing Philadelphia. Of course, we know Philly's a solid team, but Strider's been on a roll, man. I don't know if people have realized, but how about 36, 49, 82, 46, 46, 30, 66 43. So, this guy's striking people out like nobody's business. Here's his last games: 9, 9, 16. We had him rostered 7, 9. So, Philly strikes out, not the most of the league or anything, but enough. And Strider's on a roll. It's at home. I just think, he's just in a groove right now. And he's pitched over 100 pitches in 6 straight games. So he's going to go deep, 6, 7 innings. He does get to a lot to 3-2 counts, but that's part of it. He grinds and he strikes people out. And he's really pitching well. Even if he happens to give up a solo shot to one of the Philly guys, I think that's about all that he gives up. He has only given up 1 home run in the month of August or September, the whole time, almost 2 months. So feel great about Spencer Strider. He'll be pretty much in every lineup. Like I say, I've got him and I'm just going to say it now. I've got him and DeGrom everywhere. I mean, you can't fade DeGrom. I mean, you got to have rocks in your head if you don't play DeGrom right now. I mean, it's just plain and simple. So I'm expecting similar to have DeGrom and Strider. And I think those two guys combined for about 110 points. I don't want to chase that if I'm in DFS. There are a million places you can go pitching wise because there's studs everywhere. And I give you that. There are studs everywhere. Let's go over real quickly. We'll do our pitching look at this and talk about ownership there. DeGrom is only 39% owned right now on Draftkings projection. I don't understand it. I think he should be 70% owned. The guy, yes, he gave up 3 runs in the last game. All that's going to do is piss him off. He strikes out everybody. He's got every pitch. They're unhittable. He's stretched out. It's against the Pirates. Those guys, some of those young guys are going to wet their pants when they get in there against him. I'm telling you right now, DeGrom, Strider, and then where you got to do your work today is building your hitters. You still fine on DraftKings. You have $3,462 a man to build the rest out if you go DeGrom and Strider. That's plenty. There are so many guys in the middle of orders for 2,000, 2,200. You get that right back up, and you can still get a couple of your key hitters. As far as the other ownership and why I'm saying I like Strider so much, Cole's coming in right now, number 2. Sure, great pitcher, 17%. Strider at 12 is all, which I think is ludicrous. Framber Valdez is 10. He's chalk on a lot of slates. Alcantara always gets a bunch. He's 9. Springs, who we know has led us to some victories, at 5. Jordan Montgomery, who I've played like 6 times in a row, I just can't get to him. He's only 1% owned. So it's a gut punch because I'd love to play him, but I'm not going to go there. I don't want, even if he has a really great game, does well, 35, 36, he's still going to be chasing, to me, the 55 or 60 or whatever from DeGrom and Strider. So, and then how about this? Alek Manoah, he's been chalk on a bunch of slates. He's a 0.5% projected owner. Joe Ryan, who murdered everybody last time, 0.5%. So listen, you got 10 studs and then a bunch of guys after that. So, it's going to be spread out enough that if you really are sold out on your pitchers like I am with DeGrom and Strider, you don't have to feel like, I have to be a little bit different, because I'll take DeGrom at 39 and Strider at 12 all day long and still build out my hitters. So I don't have to worry about going over that anymore. So I'm not going to play any Philly bats. For Atlanta, that is one of my stacks. I don't think Bailey Falter gets it done. I like the right-handed bats for Atlanta. If you didn't catch it yesterday, poor Albies got hit on the finger, broke his finger. He's out again. But the good news is they replace him with Vaughn Grissom, who personally, in my opinion right now, that kid probably deserved to play over him. He's been awesome. So you got a lineup of Acuna, Swanson, Riley, Olson, Contreras, Grissom, Harris, Ozuna, and Grossman. Damn. I mean, you're talking about right-handed sticks against Falter 1 through 9 that have total potential of going deep. So Yes, I will definitely have some Braves exposure. With Tampa being a GPP-ish stack, Atlanta probably my favorite stack of the three. All right, Miami Marlins at the Washington Nationals, 135. It's in Washington where it's 83 degrees, slight breeze blowing out to center, 5 miles an hour. 7.5's the total, 433 for the Marlins, 317 for the Nationals. Sandy Alcantara, 10K against Anibal Sanchez, 6.3K. So where can you go from your bats? You heard Miami's getting some ownership. I understand it. You got some cheap bats there. I wouldn't stack them. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them, even against a pitcher as weak as Sanchez. If you want a one-off there, Fortes, the catchers, 4-3. JJ Bleday, I like. That'd be the one spot I would go to. He's still 2.2. He always gets hits or a homer occasionally, and they never raise the price on him. De La Cruz has also hit the ball lately. He's 2K flat. So a one-off cheap Marlin, or pick and choose a few spots there, but not a big game that I'm going to be going to. Nationals lineup is terrible. Alcantara is dangerous. He can always be a top outing pitcher, and he goes deep. So I will have very little exposure to that game other than a little dip to the Marlins there. Real quick, let me see anybody else jump in. Peter Jones. Hello, Peter. Great to have you in there. Joey Wendell or Brian Anderson as a one-off. Joey Wendell's the guy I was looking at between those two. I think he's a guy that I've played at times, and he has some potential, and his price is right. He's probably going to get that extra at bat. I don't like Brian Anderson at all right now. I've watched him, and he's cheap, and then he's in the middle of that order. And in the back of your head, you always think, man, this dude has power, but he just looks awful at the plate right now. I would not go to him in a big contest like this today, where you have so many choices. Tony likes the Rocky stack. We'll get to that here in a minute. Got up late today, RJ. He was fishing. Let's get it. All right. Now, were you really fishing, or are you fishing with us, or both? The cool thing is, if you were really out fishing and now you're fishing with us, that would even be better. But I love it, man. We were just talking about fishing at the top of the show. So great to have you in here. And Peter, if you're new, welcome to the family. We love having you in here as well. All right, let's get back to this. Again, we want to keep it moving. I know football's in the back of a lot of people's minds, but this, I'm telling you right now, is where you can make some serious cash. Not that you can't in football, but you got everybody and their brother's brother to go against there. Here, it's us focusing on this against a lot of other distracted NFL people. So focus on this. Let's get it done and make it. All right, Kansas City Royals at Boston Red Sox, 135. Big fat total here of 10. Pretty popular game to stack. 83 warm degrees in Boston with a wind blowing out to right center at 12 miles an hour. That generally says that we're going to have some hitting and some scoring in this game. 4.13 implied for the Royals, 5.87 for the Red Sox. Chris Bubich, lefty, 5'8". Nick Pivetta, 7'2". Good spots here on both sides. I like a couple of the Royals. Pasquantino did great for me. He was part of my Yahoo all-day takedown yesterday. He's only 2.5K. You can always go to the top of the order. It's more expensive with Melendez, Witt, and Perez, but I love those top four. I would love to have one of them if I can afford them. Not as crazy about the bottom of the Royals order. Boston's going to be very popular, as I mentioned, with stacks. They're going to be stacked a lot. They have almost 6 total, and I have gone there with mixed results. Sometimes they do decently. I've had them more so than not, though, kick me right in the backside and not get it done from top to bottom. So my approach with Boston today, no full stacks of 3, 4 guys, 5 guys. I'm just going to try to grab like 2 Boston guys and hope I grab the right 2. I want to take a couple of the righties. Devers hits lefties. We all know that. He hits lefties fantastic. So don't be afraid to play Devers. He's 5'5", which is a little tough, but I do like him. Bogart's at 5'3". JD Martinez is only 4'6" in the four hole, and Rob Refsnyder's 2'8" in the 5 hole. As you can see, no Verdugo in there because they're starting the lefty. So I like the Devers, Bogarts, Martinez group, trying to grab 2 of those. And if you want to go cheap and break up a little mini stack, certainly some guys at the bottom can hit. Christian Arroyo at 3.3. Enrique Hernandez has done very well for them at 3.1. That's about as far as I'd go on the Red Sox. 137, Baltimore Orioles, Toronto Blue Jays. It is in Toronto, roof open, so a little bit better for hitting. 8's the total, 3.31 for the O's, 4.69 for the Blue Jays. Dean Kramer, 7.4K against Alek Manoah, 9.6K. If anybody wants to play these ace pitchers like the Manoahs of the world, you're going to get ace pitchers like 1-2% owned because it's just there's like 8 of them today. So I get it if you want to do it against Baltimore. I'm not going to go there. I respect the Baltimore bats a little bit more than that. And I really love this lineup today for the Orioles. It's already confirmed. So Mullins and Rutschman, Santander, Gunnar Henderson in the cleanup spot at 3.6. I will take some Gunnar Henderson today. Young kid like that in the cleanup spot, they're still having to win out to try to get that final wild card spot. And then you've got a bizarre bottom of the lineup. Jesus Aguilar, Vavra, Hayes, Mateo, Chirino. So a little bit different look. But man, that Mullins, Rutschman, Santander, Henderson, I know it's Alek Manoah, so I'm not going to stack them, but I'd like to grab 1 or 2 of those guys. Baltimore's hitting. Now, on the Toronto side against Dean Kramer, one of my favorite plays on the slate is Vlad Guerrero. He is actually my home run call today, folks. 5.3K is expensive, but I think, he's due. This is a great matchup for him. BVP's good, and he's in the middle of an order that's hot. And certainly Toronto's going to get a ton of stacking as well, but they're so expensive. Springer, Guerrero, Bichette, if you take those 3 guys, that's like 18 grand. Chapman, 4.7 isn't exactly a giveaway. Teoscar at 4.8, same thing. So unless you dumpster dive at the bottom of that order, those top 5 are terrific, but you really can only grab 1 or 2 unless you're going to buy down in pitching, which I don't recommend with all the aces today. So I'll probably take Vladdy and run, to be honest with you, in this game. All right, 140, Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Guardians. Got to keep the train trucking down the tracks here. 83 degrees in Cleveland, really warm day. Wind blowing out too to right field at 13 miles an hour. That's a nice thing too for the hitters, at least. 8 is the total, 4 implied for both squads. Jumping Joe Ryan, 8.2K against Cody Morris, 6.1K. So interesting situation here. Sort of some bizarre lineups a little bit. Andres Jimenez, the lefty's leading off for the Guardians, but he's 4.5K. But he has been hitting. A great pickup for them. Rosario, Ramirez, Naylor, Gonzalez, all those guys I think are playable commodities here. I wouldn't mind going back to Cleveland. This Cleveland-Minnesota game saved my skin. It was 5-0 Cleveland, and Minnesota threw a 5 spot on them, tied it, and then it ended up, I believe, 7-6. They went like 14 innings. They couldn't get that ghost runner, like what we used to call in our day. They stick a guy at second, and they couldn't get him in. So, but anyway, the stack I had in this game worked out yesterday. Not going back to the stack here, but I would like a one-off or even 2 guys from Cleveland, and maybe the same thing on the Minnesota side. Miranda at 3.4, Gordon at 3K was huge for me yesterday. Urshela is only 2.6, so you can get some cheap one-offs in this game. 140, Pittsburgh Pirates, New York Mets. It's only 6.5. We don't have to talk long about this game. It is 85 degrees with the wind blowing out to center at 11 miles an hour. So that's not super, but it's Jacob deGrom. Yes, he's 11-9 on Draftkings, 11-9 on Fanduel, and 67 on Yahoo. Now that is the gut punch, 67. I built my lineups already. deGrom is in every one, so it can be done. Are you super happy with a couple of your final guys you have to put in hitting? No, but do you want to chase a possible 65 or 70 from deGrom? No. He's stretched out. He's pitching great. Like I say, he gave up a few runs the last game. I'm not even going to go through this because you can pull every stat in the world on deGrom and the Pirates, and it just says, just play Jacob deGrom, take the points, and figure out the salary the rest of the way. As far as on the hitting side for the Mets, a one-off here and there. I'm not going to go crazy on the Mets. They are going to be fairly popular stack-wise. They are loading up against lefties against this Johan Oviedo at 5.3K. So the Mets could be a big stack, but I'm telling you, they never score a ton of runs for deGrom. We've talked about this in a bunch of podcasts. It's that mental thing. And I've seen this for 40 years watching baseball. When you have your ace on the mound, whether it's Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, all through these years, Dwight Gooden, I'm telling you, go look at their stats. They never get run support because the psychological aspect of their team, and this is proven, when they know that they have a stud on the mound that's probably only going to give up 1 run or 0 runs, they just don't really focus hitting. They let up. They'll bunt a guy over. They'll do whatever, just try to get a run or 2 in because they know they're going to be good. And so that happens a lot. And that's why I'm always worried to stack the Mets, even against a crappy pitcher and crappy team like Oviedo and the Pirates, because they just don't tend to score a bunch of runs. Now, I say all that. There's certainly exceptions to the rule, and I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to stack Mets. I will say, though, that it's very difficult from a salary perspective to go with a 5K Nimmo, 5.9 Lindor, 4.8 McNeil, 5.6 Alonso, 3.9 Vogelbach, and 4K Canada. I mean, those, so you're not getting any freebies is what I'm saying. So for me, I'll just pull maybe 1 guy or 2 out of the Mets and put deGrom in there and be down the road. All right, quick check into, let's see. I don't see anybody else new in there. We're sticking about the same guys. Thanks for the feedback. Is that a person? Yeah. What's your thoughts on Joe Roth? I've never seen thanks for the feedback. Love to have you in here, man. That is awesome. For anybody that joined late, I'm going to say it one more time here for Peter and Doug, and thanks for feedback. And anybody maybe that hasn't followed us closely, we do 7-day-a-week podcasts for Major League Baseball, even on Football Sunday. We do 2 big NFL podcasts per week. One Thursdays at 6:50 p.m. for the Thursday night coverage. And then we do a Saturday night at 8 p.m. For all of Sunday, the main slate Sunday. So we do that live. We have giveaways during all of our live podcasts. And we have the 2 best NFL breakdown DFS guys in the industry, Josh Crash Davis and Stephen Miller Time Miller. I just shut my trap and listen to those guys because they really know what they're talking about. Great experience, both pros. Stephen Miller played real high-level college football at Division I, Arizona State, knows a lot of players in the NFL. So get involved with us from that side. We'd love to have you there. Follow us if you can everywhere on social media. First of all, our email, if you want to reach out to us email-wise with any questions, it's dfscoachtalk@gmail.com. Our website is dfscoachtalk.com. Twitter, we're at DFS Coach Talk, if you get the theme here. On YouTube, on Twitter, we have all of those live podcasts. If you're on YouTube, a quick thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and click the alert. If you click the alert, at least you get a heads up when any of our podcasts post, and that is key. The big thing for the new folks that jumped in, this is the first time we've ever done this. I don't know if we'll do it again or not. Deb had a great idea. She said, we have such phenomenal patrons that come in and listen on our podcast every day. Let's offer them a no strings attached full 1 week, all-encompassing membership to Coach Talk. If you see the link below my name, copy and paste that, plop it in. You'll be in our Discord, and you get a free week. Check out everything that we do. We give out full lineups on Yahoo and Fanduel, core sevens on Draftkings. We also provide picks for PrizePicks and Boom Fantasy. And I'd also like to thank Boom Fantasy for being our presenting sponsor. We love them. Their link is attached here in the bio, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on TikTok. All right, I got all of that off my chest. Back to the flow here. Absolutely love it. We are going to roll here. So next up, we have, let's see here. The next game we have is the Oakland Athletics at the Houston Astros. It's a 2-10 game. It is 7.5 is the total. 2.49 implied for Oakland, 5.01 for the Astros. Ken Waldichuk, 6.5K for the A's, takes the mound against Framber Valdez, another ace that is going to have very, very little ownership. The lefty, 10.9K. As far as this game goes, you know, it gets lost in the shuffle for me, to be honest with you. Not going to go Waldichuk for sure. I do respect Valdez enough to not play any A's bats, but I don't like Valdez better than DeGrom or Strider. So I'm sticking pretty much with what I've got here. I'm getting all kinds. Everybody's sending information. I love it. I love it. Okay, so what I would say is this is sort of a pass game. You could go with a few of the bats from Houston, but the problem is the expense is just nuts. Jeremy Pena in the 2-hole is confirmed at 4.5. Not bad, but here's the problem. Altuve, 5.8. My man Yordan Alvarez, he's got it rocking and rolling again, 6.2. Bregman, 5.7, and Tucker, 5.6. Who the hell can afford that lineup? And even the guys at the bottom, Mancini's 4.3. Yes, it's excellent. If you can stack them, you're going to have to buy down in pitching. It's that simple. So not for me today. Just cross my fingers and hold my breath that somehow the Astros only score 4 or 5 runs and don't go nuts, because that is a strategy. If you're a leverage player, the Astros stack is going to be very under-owned because of their price and all the ace pitchers. Go give that a crack if you'd like to. I'm not 150 max player. And for all the new people in here too, I won't get on my soapbox. I'll just say that we don't personally hear a coach talk. And the reason I started this company is we don't believe that most people play 150 max entries and max out all these contests. That's awesome if you do. I'm not saying that's a bad strategy. I know Alex Baker and some of those guys, and they've done fantastic doing that. But you have to have a hell of a bankroll to do that. I mean, if you can throw 10, 20, 30 grand on a slate, max out everything, go for it. I think you could have success there. We think the normal player plays like us. Build 2, 3, 4 lineups, maybe 1 or 2 lineups, play in a handful, 5 or 6 contests, try to play a little cash here and there, play some single entries, and maybe once in a while a single bullet for the big money. But you make sense of it. That's what we believe is the reality of 98% of players. But if you try to take the approach of playing the 150 max stuff with a limited budget, you're going to bust and reload. And that makes no sense. So, you know, we say if you try to follow what we're doing, come in for a week, try us out, see what our strategy is. We meet one-on-one for a strategy session with every single member when they come in. And that includes these 1-week free members. You're in. You get a one-on-one with me or any of our other pros here, and we'll go over what we think can help you strategy-wise. You don't have to use it all. We don't have a magic bullet, but we think we can help you in areas to tweak exactly what's right for you. Okay, let's get to the 220 game, Colorado and the Cubs in Wrigley. 81 degrees, wind blowing out to left at 10 miles an hour. So that is conducive to hitting in Wrigley. Not insane, but very good. But Vegas sees it. 9.5's the total, 4.57 implied for Colorado, 4.93 for the Cubs. It is Ryan Feltner against Javier Assad. Feltner's 5.5, Assad is 7K. Don't go to either one of those pitchers. Can you stack either side here? Oh, heck yeah. You absolutely could, and I think it would be smart. I don't have the Rockies and Cubs stack right now. That's where I'm getting a little bit different from buying up to the pitchers, but I don't think it's a bad play at all. So I'm sort of recommending it, but I'm not going to particularly be playing it. I'll go one-offs on both sides, but with that total and those two pitchers and cheap hitting, I think it makes sense. I'll go over these real quick. McMahon, Daza, Crone, Blackman, Rogers, Grishik, Diaz, Joe, and Hampson. All of them pretty cheap. You can stack those guys up. The Cubs, it's McKinstry, Happ, Gomez, Reyes, Bodie, Rivas, Velasquez, Hermosillo, and Morel. Again, very cheap. You can stack some of those guys out. I'll be plugging one or two guys in on each side here for making everything work financially, so I can still buy up to a couple of hitters I want, like Vladdy, but still get my top-notch pitchers. So for the person that asked the question, are the Rockies stackable? They are. I'm not particularly going to go there, but I think that it is a good play. I don't know if I'd go 5 stack. I mean, I don't know if I trust the Rockies to score. We know they suck when they're outside of Colorado. They're 40-point lower average. I mean, they don't hit in bunches, but they can pop a couple of home runs. So, all right, 407, Seattle Mariners, Los Angeles Angels. It is 76 degrees in LA, no wind to speak of. 8.5's the total, 4.03 for the Mariners, 4.47 for the Angels. Marco Gonzalez, the lefty, 5.9K against Reed Detmers, the lefty, at 7.1K. Mariners Angels game here. You know, two pitchers I'm not super crazy about. Not phenomenal with the hitters here either. I think the pricing is a little off on some of the key guys. You certainly can get to the Trouts and those guys of the world. There's no doubt about it. Those guys are all solid, but this is pretty much going to be a pass game for me. And then we've got a 4-10 game, Padres and Diamondbacks. It is in the Dome in Arizona. 8.5's the total, 4.67 for the Padres, 3.83 for the Diamondbacks. Yu Darvish versus Reen Nelson. Not going to buy up for Darvish on this type of an awesome slate of pitching. Reen Nelson, definitely not. Padres have not been consistent hitting. I do like a few of these one-offs if they're on the Yahoo slate, which they are. If you want to grab a Soto or Machado, I think you can get some good stats at very, very low ownership on these guys. And Soto is super cheap on Yahoo. Diamondbacks, don't like Darvish that much, but I don't like the hitters from Arizona enough to take place of anybody else that I mentioned. And then the last game on the slate, we're not going to play it here at Coach Talk because the weather is really, really dangerous in this one. A lot of rain expected, a lot of wind. It's supposed to be cold. I would say Dodgers, Giants, pass it. I think it's going to get rained out. And last thing you want to do is put them on your Yahoo all day and take a 0. So very simply, it's Andrew Haney versus Alex Cobb. And for me, it is going to be a pass. All right, my friends, I told you I would bust it here. No messing around. Yeah, McCarthy's a decent play, Peter. He's not bad at all. I think he's showing some upside as a young player in the league for sure. Let's see here. Anything else? Any other question? This is your chance to throw it in there in chat. Really do appreciate this group. I mean, it wasn't a huge group, but it was a consistent group. We held you throughout. We appreciate you. And you got to hear a little bit of my baseball lingo. So, all right, my friends, I think that is it. We would love to have you join us. Use that link right below me to come aboard. And if you're on Twitter right now, a quick like and retweet. If you're on YouTube, a quick thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit that alert, and so you know when any of our podcasts post. Thank you all so much for joining it. I hope you kill your MLB, net in all those fish from the NFL, and then while you're at it, smash the NFL as well. So really do appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for joining in. Crash and I will be back tomorrow for baseball, and we will also have some information in Discord for the Monday night football game and Sunday night game tonight. So thanks again, everybody, and have a great Sunday. And we'll see you again tomorrow when we look to crush it. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. I have to give my PrizePicks and Boom Fantasy selections. Oh, my gosh. Why didn't somebody yell at me? Nobody yelled at me. All right, here they are. Boom Fantasy. My picks are Dansby Swanson, over a half a run, and Vlad Guerrero Jr., 1.5 total bases over. So those are the two plays. Over Vlad, 1.5 total bases, over a half a run Swanson. On Boom. On PrizePicks, Spencer Strider, over 7.5 strikeouts. I talked about him. And I'm going on the Vlad train today, over 7.5 fantasy score for Vladimir Guerrero. So there it is, my friends. I think I remembered everything now. Great luck. Have a terrific day. Now I can say we'll be back again tomorrow as we look to crush it in MLB DFS, PrizePicks, and Boom Fantasy.